Alright guys, it's time for another update for Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is based on World Update 2. But before anything, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet on further notifications on this regard. There are two things that are important during this update. The first one is to update a 949.8 MB at the Microsoft Store, and the second one is the 12.65 GB update in the Microsoft Flight Simulator application. So please keep that in mind. So when you try to open the application, it forces you to a mandatory update by taking you to the Microsoft Store. You then have to install a 949.8 MB update. That shouldn't take long, and once it's done, you can click on the play button where you would be navigated back to the simulator. Once you're in the Microsoft Flight Simulator application, the system would then give you access to download the 12.65 GB patch, which is patch 1.11.5.0. Since this is a large patch, an Ethernet cable can always be helpful for faster downloads. In addition to that, make sure you have your video drivers updated to have the maximum performance on your graphics cards. This update is based on World Update 2 that has several areas of the US which has its focus that include airports and points of interest. This patch is a 12.65 GB patch that doesn't just have updates based on World Update 2. There are many bug fixes that have gone into place as well as enhancements which have been implemented to the simulator. The community's feedback have been acknowledged to ensure that any of the adjustments made towards the simulator has been based on different priorities amongst those feedbacks. There are vast amounts of updates over the region which has seen several improvements in elevation data as well as aerial imagery. The maps display the current elevation data that has been used in the simulator. It looks like the darker the shade, the better the detail. Looking at the map, the highest level of details are for Washington, California and New York. Something of interest is that there are 4 new airports which have been added without any charges. The Atlanta International Airport, which is the KATL, this is a busy airport. Along with that, the Friday Harbor, which is the KDHR, Dallas International Airport, which is the KDFW, and the New York Stewart International Airport, which is the KSWF, has been added. Take a good look at the points of interest that have been added which sums to 50. Be it Chimney Rock, Washington Monument, the White House, the Haystack Rocket, Oregon, the Half Dome at Yosemite, or the Las Vegas Strip. Pretty much there's complete coverage of 50 points of interest throughout America, which is definitely a good deal. We should hope to see good amount of details in these points of interest specifically in this region. This would be definitely a growing list of points of interest as the simulator is fairly new. We should hope to see a much more bigger list in the coming future. It's a lot of points of interest and certainly can be fun. Under performance and stability, many times the simulator would crash. The optimization and photogrammetry, air traffic control, which didn't acknowledge well nor responded without taking our feedback during our flights. All these things have been fixed and we should hope to see better performance as well as stability under the simulator. Planes have seen improvements in both handling as well as autopilot fixes. This has been applied towards all the planes. The Boeing 747-8 Intercontinental has issues based on fuel consumption. The Airbus A320neo likewise had the same issues along with yaw oscillation. All these should be fixed in this patch. Other planes were the cruise speed adjustments in the aircraft selection menu, Cessna's 152, the Cirrus SR-22, which has problems with mixture controls that was automatically set to auto mixture. Cessna Grand Caravan's spoiler, which was invisible, has been removed. The Robin Captain now can see a 90-degree range of motion. All these fixes have gone into place and we should hope to see improvements across these planes. Under Garmin Glass cockpits, we should be able to see the added visual notifications when trying to deactivate autopilot as well as flight director, which is turned on automatically when autopilot is enabled. Under the user interface, many areas have been covered, which include data consumption values that have been revised and now is accurate. Livery names used to display incorrect information in the menus. The image of the weather in a flight plan was always inaccurate. Lifetime issues that displayed wrong time. the bush trip menu which used to freeze often. The simulator would freeze when the settings were changed from online mode to offline mode. All these items have been fixed on the user interface end, and we should hope to see a smoother experience when trying to use the application. Under hardware's input, we should see better feedback from Honeycomb Bravo throttle, where the default preset would be added specifically for GA twin engines configurations. Other hardwares can be recognized by the system, which include the CH throttle quadrant, CH flight stick pro, as well as the CH compact stick. This basically means that even though these hardwares can always be used, the default presets have been added so that the user doesn't have to spend time setting up these hardwares again on the system. Under the activity areas, the logbook should see more accurate information when you try to log in any flights. Along with that, the landing challenge target should be precise after you restart any activity. Other updates on a global world map scale has been focused on smaller cities. Users should be able to see more streetlights of smaller cities as well as roads that display randomly. This is to add a different approach towards realistic behaviors under the simulator. In addition to that, under the airports, many workers in the area would freeze, and this has been fixed. It looks like slowly Asobo is taking its time to cover regions of the world in better quality through updates. There have been 2 updates in a matter of 3 months so far. We should hope to see the next update not far from now. When looking at the progress Asobo has made over the past few weeks, we should hope to see many more changes towards the simulator, which is definitely a positive move. We do see that the focus is more towards Washington, California and New York in terms of level of details under aerial imagery. But this is not the end. This is definitely a growing platform, and we should hope to see many more details around this specific region of the US. Remember guys, this is still the beginning, and Asobo has made a lot of effort to make sure that every region of the world can be updated slowly through world updates. If you do come across any issues, you can always feel free to leave a feedback at Asobo, and you can find the link below in the description. I'm going to repeat this again guys, please go ahead and update your video card drivers, because this can always make a big difference. There are several instances where many users wouldn't update their drivers on time and still experience low resolution images throughout the simulator. So this is quite an important thing. Make sure that you keep your drivers updated, as you can see a huge performance boost in frames per second. So please check them regularly so that it can benefit you and you can have a much more better experience. I certainly hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe for future updates on this regard. I hope you have a good rest of the day and stay tuned.